on tonight there on the 4th of November. This is being printed for me. So there's one or two updates I need to put on it, but we'll go forward. As I say, the agenda goes forward there. So item 1, could I have apologies for not attending? Obviously, there's no apologies for team tonight.
Can I just ask, Hilary? Sorry, is Carol on the
declaration of interest to receive a declaration of interest relating to matters which appear.
Hilary?
Yes.
Sorry, is Carol on the committee? Because I think her apologies will be submitted.
Who to?
Is Carol on the committee? Because she would send her apologies. She's really not well.
Carol has sent her apologies, so the clerk should have received those.
Ah, right, okay.
Is that true, Amy?
Yeah, sorry. The clerk's received apologies from Carol.
All right, thank you very much then. So, declaration of interest. Are there any declaration of interest?
Yes, Madam Mayor, plot holder 6 Feenans.
Okay, thank you, Will. Item 3, exclusion of press and public. I don't think there's anything on the agenda there to exclude the press, or does anyone think differently? No. Okay. The minutes of the 3rd of September, can we affirm them as a true record?
I'll propose them, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I'll second them, Madam Chair.
Right, thank you. Thank you. Item 5, this is your department, Will. So to receive a brief report on the activities of the allotment subcommittee, including the proposals for a self-management at Feenans and request for continuation of use in Soapry allotments. The floor is yours now, Will.
Thank you very much, Chair. The allotment subcommittee still has not met. COVID lockdown. It was decided, like I reported at the last meeting, that because it was growing season, getting people around the table was proven rather difficult. COVID's also took a hit on us. We're not allowed to hold meetings. So the subcommittee is on hold at the moment, with a view to bringing it back up again. Feenans. Feenans, as some of you know, I have a proposal to take Feenans allotments under self-management. I have a presentation to go in front of you. Do you have a presentation, Amy?
Yeah, are you ready for that shared now?
Yes.
Yes, Amy, yes.
Right, that's ready when you are, Will.
Yep. Fire away slide 1, please. This is an aerial photograph that I have took of Feenans. As you can see, I put my drone up in the sky. I took an aerial view of it, and as you can see, it's looking in rather a state. That is the lonin that comes down from Victoria Road and goes all the way up to what people used to cut through to go to the Zebras Club. As you can see, the two very, very rough areas right in the centre there. One of those is an unused allotment which cannot be utilised because soil samples have found traces of asbestos, also traces of acid in the ground, and the one higher up, that is an allotment that has been unable to be used for cultivation for quite a number of years because it was used for quite a while until a change in policies for keeping dogs on, and that allotment had 5 inches of hardcore, which was slag from the slag bank, to give it a hard base for people to keep dogs on. But obviously a change in policies meant that dogs no longer have been in there. Since the dogs moved out of there, that allotment has been dug up and searched for bottles because it is an old tip, and the slag is no longer there, and it is something that we want to utilise for the project. have taken finance and attempt to obtain funding from outside the council, which the council is not allowed to get. Can you move on to the next slide, please, Amy? There's also an aerial view. As you can see, right on the corner of it there, it's being used for fly tipping. And this is the lane that we talked about a couple of meetings ago with regards to ripping it out. As you can see, the puddles there, it gets worse. It floods totally and becomes impassable. A contractor has already been agreed by this committee for to have the lane all ripped out, redone, new land drains and resurfaced in crushed stone. To tie in with this project, I have a long-term plan, which is to create a nature corridor going right through the site. Next slide, please, Amy. There you are again. That's from another angle. That shows you how bad those two sites are. As you can see, the others are cultivated. Feenans is a site which never comes under the radar for not being cultivated. There's quite some very keen allotment holders in there. And the problem we have with going down that lane is that there is no security whatsoever. On the left-hand side, we're secured by British Gas. It's their compound. They have a big high fence on. Down in the bottom of the photograph is Moss Bay Metals. That is secured. And to the right is the last fence that was ever put on Feenans. And that was done just before we actually got voted in by the electorate. If you look towards the centre there, on the right-hand side of the plot there where the fly tipping is, you will see a large greenhouse. That happens to be mine, and that plot there is mine. That is plot 6. Next slide, please. The immediate plans for the future is 1, to progress to self-management. It's to follow the prototype that Mike Barnes has done. He's taken Newlands Lane out, and in the short period of time that he has been running that, which took him 4 years to get to fruition, he has raised over £40,000 in grant work to put on that site. They have shipping container that they keep things in. They have a well-publicised £14,000 toilet. And what I intend to do is transform plot 1, which is the one that is being used for fly tipping, and turn it into a community project. I've already been in touch with Pauline Robertson, who is the head at Victoria Junior School. She's very excited to be involved in the project, but as I told her, I cannot move the project forward until the lane is done because of health and safety issues with the lane and taking children down there. Now that I have done 2 plans. One is a 3-year plan and the other is a 5-year plan. Next slide, please. That is what we have, and as you can see, the checkered areas are footpaths. As you can see in the bottom, Roper Scrapyard, that is where we are secure. We are secure at the British Gas side, and we are also secure on the right-hand side, which a fence that leads right up to Roper's Garage, which has high fencing and electric fence around it. As you can see, the plot at the front, 2 plots actually, where the dogs used to be, they are unfit for cultivation, and also the other one that looked a mess beside the gas board, that is also unfit for cultivation. Plans are for to bring that plot back usable for cultivation. Currently at this moment in time, the council is using that for the tip, leaf mould, cuttings, etc. In order to build up a soil base to be able to make that plot fit for cultivation. Currently, at this moment in time, the council does not have any designated area for to tip their cuttings, leaf mould, or anything, and they're basically using that plot there, which will enhance it to bring it up. Although it'll be low nutrient for growing, the nutrients can be enhanced, but it will give us a new soil base for to come on. As you can see, in accordance with the aerial photo, the unfit for cultivation plots at the front there by the footpath, they come to a point. Next slide, please. Now then, this slide here, the footpaths are now in yellow. As you can see, it is still unfit for cultivation on the left-hand side, but plans are to make that usable and cultivatable. Where the plot come to a corner, the intention is to cut that corner in conjunction with getting the lane done and having it all relaid. 2 gates go on the front of there, and if your eyes are good enough, you'll actually see that in the area that was unfit, I have created a storage container in the far bottom left-hand corner. I've also created 6 composting bays, which will give the council somewhere permanent for them to come and put all cuttings, leaf mould, etc., everything out of the park, and give them somewhere instead of having to find another allotment for to dump it on. Also, to the right of the compost bins, we plan to create greenhouses for to help growing, setting plants off. There's a storage yard at the front, but if you notice, the perimeter is lined now in green. And also at the top of plot 14, it's lined in green. I have, with the help of Mike Barnes, created an avenue. Well, Mike has. He has obtained me 500 trees and hedgerow plants. Now then, the hedgerow plants that are coming, I can tell you now. The trees we will receive, I'll be getting 5 packs of each. And in each pack there will be 10 blackthorn, 10 hawthorn, 10 common dogwood, 10 goat willow, and 10 dog rose. Some of these will be hedgerow, others will be trees. There is 500 coming, and on council approval, I can have them here by the 19th of November in order to start the project. Mike Barnes has offered to work with me to also bring in his own expertise, which he has been travelling around the country getting this going. The amount of allotments that's now coming out of council control throughout the country, as far down as Birmingham. Blackpool does not even have a allotment now. They all go self-management. In order for it to go self-management, obviously we would be out of council control, so would therefore no longer be under the council's public liability insurance. To set this up, I've already been in touch with the National Allotment Society, made inquiries with regards to our own public liability insurance. With that will come free seeds, various offers, and as you see in the orange area, the 2 large orange areas, I have put there greenhouses. This area will be used for the council's benefit and will be used for to grow plants from seedlings, to include bedding plants as well as herbs, and will also give us the opportunity of increasing the flora around town, giving a better visual display. And also with planting these trees in, it also creates a natural walkway, which Nature England is fully backing. I would also, in the 5-year plan, because the lane is going to be ripped up, along to the north of the main footpath is the main water supply. That runs right along the hedge of the Annie Pit allotments. That water supply we are prepared to pay for to have removed in order for to plant more trees along the other side to create a fully natural nature walkway to hide the tin sheetings. Because looking down there, the tin sheetings, it does look like it's something from Brazil resembling a shanty town. This will enhance the visual impact, will also enhance the natural biodiversity, will improve our carbon footprint, and will also go along with the policies of planting trees. Next slide, please. What I'm requesting from the council, I've already spoken to Alison. She has assured me that planting tree assistance can be done, obviously during COVID. Social distancing must be adhered to. If need be, we intend to do it ourselves. What I will be requesting from the council is some form of financial assistance to help us set up. Obviously, we're setting up from nothing. All these projects take money. You can't do it on nothing. So I will be requesting some financial assistance from the council. Also, the water supply that comes in, it comes from the whole estate, which includes Annie Pit, which is metered from Harrington Road. And the problem we have at the moment is if there is a leak on anywhere in the Annie Pit allotments site, we, coming out of council control, would be responsible for that, because at the moment in time, the setup that is done with water is that whatever goes through the meter on Harrington Road gets shared amongst everyone and everyone pays it. So I would, when I spoke to Chris Bagshaw about this, he did suggest that the correct way to go about this would be for the council to, when the lane is being taken out, is to supply a water meter so that we are only charged for any water that we use ourselves. The model that has gone down with Mike Barnes basically is that the council retains ownership of the land. There is a peppercorn rent charged, and the project keeps going as long as everyone wants to keep the project going. Obviously, as you've seen from the aerial photos, there is quite a bit of fly tipping. So we would require a level playing field to set off without having to be hit with costs of having to clear the area up first. As you noticed from the plan, the aerial plan that I put on, the corner would be cut. That would be to create a turning circle, because at the moment in time, when you go down them gardens, especially in the growing season, it's busier than Piccadilly Circus and you can't get a car parked. So that is to create a natural turning circle to increase parking, obviously, because we're going to cut the corner back and move fences slightly, and that would create more parking spaces, which would help the health and safety of people walking down there. Any questions?
That was a good report, Will. It was well done. It's what you're describing now was what was planned by Working Town Council 11 years ago for this aim for the self-sufficient for allotment. So well done on that one, taking this far. I know what you mentioned about the path. We have been asking for estimates. It has been approved to do the work, but I'm waiting for some costings. I think Chris was in the middle of doing some costings for the path, and I've had no sight of that yet. So we'll see if Catherine has made any progress on that level. It has been approved financially to go forward on that one, and it has been budgeted for. So
the costings did come in, Madam Chair.
I haven't seen sight of them.
It was put out to tender. There was invites for tender. I believe there only was one person who tendered for it, and the costings come in under what Alison had actually measured and costed for herself.
Okay, no, but normally we need the three. which you very well know, Will. But I don't want to hold this back too much longer.
Well, no one else applied. No one else put in a tender for the contract. There only was one contractor put in a tender.
So I can't remember, was it about 67,000 we put aside to do this?
Yes, it was actually costed at just over £7,000 by Alison.
Okay.
And the estimate, I believe, coming in under that. What I will say to you is that the area that I am wanting to put natural hedgerow, there was some costings done with regards to the fence work that needed done. I do have cost. Amy, is the costing slide being added to that presentation? No.
No.
Let me just double check.
I do know that Catherine's been ill. I did request it to be, but obviously she hasn't been in work because she's been ill.
Yeah, I can't see it on the version that I've got, I'm afraid.
Right, I do have a costings here. This is one that I have received from Alison. The Fernan's comparison fencing costs, which is 103.65 metres. To put V-mesh fencing in at £38 per linear metre is a total cost of £18,294.10. Tin sheeting and wooden posts comes in dearer, an extra £3,998.80. Tin sheeting and concrete posts comes in at 52.45 per linear metre. The waste clearance has come in at over £838.53. A mini digger for to do this would come in 1 day's hire at £150. The mixed hedge would come in at £1,059.30. I've received all this for free with the help of Mike Barnes, not myself. So them costs will be taken out because as it states here, the plants will be put in as whips. They are coming with collars and support posts. The guaranteed lifespan of a metal fencing is 25 years at a cost of over £20,000. The guaranteed lifespan of tin sheeting is 10 to 15 years, sorry, but the lifespan of the hedge is unlimited. So that is £20,000 of costings that, to move ahead with this project, it will release the burden to the council.
This hasn't been debated before. This is a surprise one, this tonight, Will, to be quite honest with you, because I have received no costings or anything like that to be done. The costings on the agenda at the moment in time are to do with the lane. So getting that done, which I've already stated, about £7,000.
I only received this today myself,
okay.
Madam Chair.
That needs to be taken into consideration, and we need more details before we can give you really an answer on that one, Will. Maybe have them ready for the next meeting. With just the costings now to go ahead and the approval from our committee to go to full council to have the lane done now, immediately. And I'd like to ask you, the costings, you said about the hedgings, what would the costing be for that?
Zero.
Alone.
The costings for the hedgerow is zero. If I receive approval from the council, that hedging will be here on the 19th of December and could be planted immediately. The intention is to leave the fence up. Obviously, this hedgerow and trees are coming as whips. They will be planted behind the existing tin sheeting fence in order to protect them, to let the roots get established. The lane can't be done until after the new year because of weather constraints, because it will just turn into a quagmire. I have spoken to the contractor about the availability and how long it would take, and he said because of weather reasons, he would not envisage starting it until the weather picks up. We're entering into a very, very wet spell, and it could make the issue worse before it makes it better.
Yeah. Well, that's fine, but I know we're getting approval for the costings now, though. This is what we're trying to do tonight, Will. So basically, it's a case of saying we're all in favour of that. Everything has gone according to how it should go, and I'm all in favour of the costings being allowed to do the lane at this meeting.
Well, might I say, Madam Chair, before you actually do debate this, I have declared an interest in this because I am a plot holder. So I think the correct manner, unless there's no more questions, is for me to actually remove myself from the room while you debate it.
On the debate of there is no debate regarding, it has already been agreed, Will, that we will pay for the lane to be made suitable. So
I'm
there's
on
no
about the
debate
transfer of the allotments into self-management instead of council control.
But as I just said, we'll sort this out with the money now to do with doing the lane. And I think we're in agreement in that and going forward with the £7,000.
That's already been agreed, Madam Chair.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We're going forward on that one. So what you want to deal with now is all the other costings. And as I said before, when I first spoke there, the last 11 years, this is what we're being aiming for, is for the allotment to be self-sufficient. So we can have that debate, but we would like you to stay a little bit longer. I don't think you should leave the room because you could answer our questions because you're the one that's dealing with all this. No one else. I've had no dealings with all this.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Madam Chair.
Yes, okay.
Debate and questions, but when it comes to decision, I think the only correct.
Well, that is a normal procedure, Will, quite honestly. But as I just stated as chair, I think it would be appropriate if you stay and answer any questions we have. And if it's necessary to leave the room, well, that's fair comment. So
No. I just need protocol states that I must leave the room while you make your decision.
I, as chair, asking you to stay to answer our questions, and then you leave the room when it comes to our decision.
Yes.
Will, thank you. So, is anyone from the floor would like to ask Will any questions regarding what's just been stated about going self-sufficient with the allotments?
Could I
Would you like to come in?
Yes, I'm just asking Will, has other allotment holders, have they been in touch with you? Are they all in like the info, what's going to go ahead? With the water meters, and is the actual money going to go up or anything like that?
The steps and stages I've gone down was first I had to approach all the allotment holders. They have agreed that this is a step forward. They have already decided on who would be a chairman, who would be their secretary, and who would be their treasurer. Correct protocol has been followed. Everyone's in agreement, and the committee has been appointed. It's basically just a case of receiving confirmation from the council to allow it to follow the same model that Mike Barnes has taken Newlands Gardens down.
Yeah, that's all I really want to know, if everybody's in agreement of the big changes, what maybe come forward. No problem.
Okay, I thank you, Will. Herbert, are you wanting to come in?
No, I wasn't, but as you've asked, I think, I've been talking to Will a bit about this, and I've been down his allotment, and I think, as Will said, it seems to be the way forward throughout the country. Will mentioned in his spill there that Birmingham, Blackpool, they don't own an allotment. And there's quite a few allotments down Blackpool. You see them when you're driving in. So I think it's the way forward. And yeah, good luck to him. Good luck.
Right, thank you, Herbert. Yeah.
Nobody else has
Anyone
a hand
like
up,
to
Chair.
make a statement or inquiry of Will? I can see you there on there. So, Will, would you like to leave the meeting for the time being?
Yep.
Madam Chair, I'll don't do now, Will. I'll try and put you in the other room.
Yeah, please, Paul.
Try. I don't know whether I can.
Okay. Okay, Will.
Yep.
Okay, right. Right then, can I open that up to the floor? Have you any kind of strong feelings about what's been suggested by Will?
I'm still here, Madam Chair.
Hang fire. Hang fire.
Okay, you
I
need to
can't-
leave, you need to leave, Will, yeah.
I think I can do it, Paul.
Can
I'll
you
see.
know how to do it? Can you?
I'll give it a go. Has that worked? Yeah, I think that's worked.
That's it. He's out there.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. Okay, so basically, as I said, was anyone on the floor would like to open up and see if we can take this forward? The costings mentioned there was £20,000 there that would be necessary to fetch it up to scratch sort of thing.
Councillor King's got a hand up.
Sorry, I can't see at all. Anybody with a handle?
Um,
Janet, come in,
again,
please.
from what Will was saying, it doesn't sound as if we'll have to put a huge. We won't have to pay 20,000, will we?
I think we will.
Will we? But either way, it seems a really good plan.
Mhm.
It's been very well thought through, and I'm sure that they'll be able to get grants and things as well.
Mhm. But as I stated before, we've aimed for this for 11 years now to happen.
So we
And,
need to get it forward, really, then, don't we?
so anyone else? John, would you like to come in?
Yes, so that 20,000, is that the overall cost, or is there any underlying costs, or is that the final cost and all? Or do we not know that?
We don't know at the moment in time. We'd have to see a broadsheet of all costings actually before we can come to
That's
any-
right, so it could go beyond the 20,000.
Yeah. Mm. So anyone else with any thoughts?
Councillor Briggs has his hand up. Herbert.
Councillor Briggs, would you like to come in, please?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard Will talk there about what he's got for nothing with the hedge and stuff, and we heard him say that the final costing will be lower than because he's got that much for nothing when it all kicks off. It seems as if it is the future with when you look up and down the country. Not being an allotment holder, I don't know, but allotment holders, we only have to look at Newlands Lane, I think, to be sort of look at that and think, well, that's self-managed. It's on a main road. It's actually beautiful when you drive past there, especially in summer. So I think, I mean, if I'm allowed, I would like to put a proposal forward that we move on and accept Will's proposal to sort of go on his own, or the allotment holders on their own.
But if you don't mind me saying, Herbert, this is what we've been aiming for all these years to happen. And the costing, I'm quite in agreement with the costings, but we need approval to do this. Are we willing to put this money in now to go forward so it can finally come to an end? And do we want it to happen this year? Because as Will has just said, things can't happen with the lane until early spring. We have to sort out with the water meter, we have to sort out fly tipping. There's lots of things, there's other needs to be sorted out. And I'm beginning to think it's a little bit more than £20,000. A little bit more detail in costings that worries me. I mean, all in favour of moving forward by all means. John, you've got your hand up. Would you like to?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I totally agree with what you're saying there. Is obviously, yeah, we've come up with a price of 20,000, but yeah, fair enough, we can come up with the sort of money. But what if it's going to go well beyond that? Who's going to pick up the cost then?
Well, hopefully in the future when they go self-sufficient, they will join like a group to get their own money, whether they're self-funding. That's what
Madam
they
Chair,
hope for.
Councillor Ryan Briggs has his hands up.
Where's Ryan at? Okay, Ryan. Would you like to unmute, please?
Yeah, my point of view basically is if we don't let them go self-sufficient now, I don't think he ever will, to be honest, because like Will's just said there, he's got that much plant iron and stuff like that already for free. I think if it doesn't happen now, the cost will only go up and up, and I don't think it ever will.
Oh, okay, right. Amy, can you see me?
Yep,
I can't see anybody. It's gone off completely.
you're still on screen.
I'll have to log in again, Amy.
Okay.
You're still on screen.
I'm
We can
still on
still
screen,
we can still see and hear you.
We can,
but I can't see anybody though. I can't see anybody at all.
Right. I'm not sure why that is.
I'm updated. I'm being updated.
do you want us to pause the meeting? I can pause the recording while you log in.
Hold it while I can still see if I can reconnect with because it's like having a meeting on a telephone. This okay?
Right, I'll pause recording now then, if that's all right.
Okay, fine. Anyone else? Any ideas than that?
Can we maybe suggest that we agree in principle and present the costs to the next meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cost as we can see at this moment in time. I mean, there's bound to be cost that's unseen on that one, because Will did mention fly tipping. Is that responsible of Workington Town Council, or is it promised Allerdale? Who's going to be the main instigator of sorting out this fly tipping?
If it's on Workington Town Council land, it will be Workington Town Council. But
Exactly.
I think if you actually say we approve in principle, if Will can present an up-to-date list of costs to the next meeting.
Well, that's what I suggested before, Paul, with everyone. I'm not quite happy with the £20,000 there. I do think it would be a little bit more than that. And if we do get it in more detail, but in essence, I am in agreement of moving forward with this going self-sufficient. I really am. So
Do you want Will back in the room now?
Yes, please.
Good.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to take a vote on.
Janet wanted to say something there.
It was only that when we were saying about fly tipping, is that something that would continue? And how can you stop that?
Not if they're fenced off, Janet.
Right. So that's part of the plan? Is it not fenced at the moment?
No.
No.
Oh, right. Okay.
You want to vote on the motion?
John,
Yes,
John,
Paul.
John would like to say something.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'm just going to vote. I'm just going to agree with Paul there. Are we actually going to have a vote before Will comes in, or that's where I was going to?
I've admitted Will. Do you want Will back into the waiting room?
Will kind of come back in until we have the vote.
Okay, I'll put him back into the waiting room.
Okay.
He's back in the waiting room.
So can we have a vote, please, on this? And the proposal is that we will go forward with helping as much as we can once we've seen a little bit more costs on the table. That's my proposal anyhow.
I second.
Okay, thank you. John, would you like to speak again before we call Will back
Oh,
in?
I think that's sorry about that, Hilary. You know, I second that what you're saying.
Okay, thank you. So Amy, you can call Will back in now, please. Thank you.
He's been admitted now, just in process. He should be back in the room now.
Yeah. Now, normally you don't tell the person that's come back in what's happened, but on this occasion, I'll give my discretion and we're allowed to discuss that in briefly to tell Will what's happened, the answer we want to give him. It's cruel to make him to wait till the next meeting, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
I think you should wait, Madam Chair.
You want to be shot? I don't. Oh, dear.
You want to tell him, Madam Chair?
Where's Will? Is Will in just yet?
Yes, he's in.
I can't see him.
Yeah, he's definitely in.
Oh, he's there at the bottom there. Right, welcome back, Will. Thank you. And the decision of the meeting is that we do approve what you're wanting to do is to go forward. We need more costings to be really, really sure of what is happening there, but we're all for it going forward to be independent. So congratulations. It's been a good presentation, Will, and thank you very much for all that time you put in doing that. Thank you. Okay. So can we move on now to item 6, which is the bus shelters. The one at Salterbeck's been ongoing for some time now, and there was costings agreed on that. And I don't know whether it was a pandemic or what, but another one came in for Moss Bay, and that is the one that it's just virtually adjacent to the entrance of the old steelworks on what was called letterbox for the local people. And it is quite it's open to the elements, this bus stop, and we're looking to providing a bus stop there. But the costings have been done for the Salterbeck one. I don't know why it's taken so long, to be quite honest with you, but it has. And as I say, we move forward on that. And I think the costing was about £3,000, if I remember, like going back a few years. Is that right, Amy? Have you got the information there?
I haven't got the costings. I'm just going to check an email from Alison just with an update, but I don't think I've got the costings. So just give me a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, the costings aren't included in that email, so I haven't got them.
Okay, well, really, basically, I was wanting to make a decision on this tonight, because obviously you haven't got costings. But if you go back, have you got that information in front of you, Amy, to go back? You most probably won't be able to tell. I thought it was about £3,000 actually, with the Salterbeck one.
I'll be able to look at it. Was it discussed at a previous meeting?
Yes.
Which meeting was it discussed at? I might be able to check.
You know, we're going back a few years. We're going back recent one. I think we brought it up with Chris just before he departed from the council. But I've had no word. Obviously, with Catherine getting used to how the system works, we can understand that. We're not faulting anybody. It's just basically, I would like to have moved on tonight with these two issues. So can we come with, it has been approved for the Salterbeck one, as I stated before. We come to the Moss Bay one, which is equally. Are you approved of this bush shelter being put on the letterbox site where I suggested? Do you all know which place I'm talking about?
Yes.
Where the houses were knocked down.
Is it the ranch?
Along there.
Yeah, the ranch, Linda, yeah.
Aye. Definitely need something there.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
can I just ask whose land is it, and do we have the right to put it there? Who owns the land?
The land. This is what I'm saying. These days were asked of Catherine, and obviously they're on that one. No one's, as I say, I'll say it again, no one's faulting. It's just the situation that we find ourselves in and the timing of everything on that one. I believe it belongs to Allerdale, to be quite honest with the land, and that should be no problem in getting permission to do that. But I thought all this was being seen to, but obviously it hasn't. So that means it's another 6 weeks before we can go forward. And we're coming into winter, and all these people standing, because he's quite used this bus stop, out to the, he's really in the elements, to be quite honest, he's standing there. So
Councillor Wilkinson has his hands up.
So I'm looking for a way around this, where we can get around it. Okay, where we at, Will? You're because you're at the very bottom there. Okay, Will, would you like to say something?
You're on mute, Will.
Will?
I believe you're right, Madam Chair, and Councillor Scott, because that land was bought under compulsory purchase when the houses were knocked down. So I do believe it could be Allerdale land.
Okay.
So in which case, Madam Mayor, we would need the officer, as in Amy, to clarify that whether it's acceptable to put a bush shelter on there.
No, that's true, yes. But first of all, we've got to find out if we're going to, if we approve to do it. If there's no point in asking if we don't approve of it. So I think we're putting the egg before the chicken here. We need to say that we agree for a bus stop to go there and then take it from there. Is that correct? So are we in agreement a bus stop is needed there, or is necessary in that area?
I agree with you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Would anyone like to second that?
I'll second it.
Right, thank you, Linda. So we can move forward now in finding out, getting permission to erect the bush shelter. It's about opposite number 385, I think, where it was sited on Moss Bay Road. So thank you on that one. And we do definitely need some movement towards the Salterbeck one being sorted out, Amy. It's gone on for years, this one, where it was approved.
No problem. I'll raise that with the clerk.
Right, thanks very much, Amy, on that one. I don't understand item number 7 myself, so possibly you could fill me in on what the new town signs mean, Amy, please.
Yep. So the entrance signs into the town have been there for quite some time and are starting to show signs of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've done is gone away and got some designs for some new signage, and this is just to look at the artwork and decide if you're happy with it. If you're happy with it, we can go ahead and get it made and installed. So I don't know whether have you received that artwork
No.
in advance?
Yes,
I should.
The artwork.
yes, we
Sorry?
had it in that email.
Yeah, it's in there, yeah.
Great.
All right, okay.
Um,
Back to front.
I might be able to share my
would
screen
be.
again if it's helpful. If anyone doesn't have it, I might be able to share it on screen. Would anyone like that?
Yes, please.
Give me a moment. Here we go. So this is the designs. So on the left-hand side, you can see the old design. And on the right-hand side is the new design. So the idea being to take away the information about Cumbria in bloom, just to simplify things a bit, to continue to have the twinning information on there. And then the design of the sign reflects the branding that we have for Visit Workington as well. So that's the existing branding we have for Visit Workington. So it just ties all that together.
Okay, thanks, Amy. Yes.
Janet has her hand raised, Chair.
Okay, Janet, what would you like to?
I just want to ask, Stainburn, we've got a really scruffy sign which looks almost identical to that Welcome to Workington, except it does say on it Stainburn. Is it possible to have, does this have to have Workington on, or can we have any with individual area names on?
Amy, can you come back on that one, please?
You can have different signs for different areas. It might just raise the costs, I imagine, because if you're getting the same thing printed, it sometimes brings down cost. So that would be just something we'd have to look into. But yeah, they are all individually printed, so it would be possible.
Do they agree we're looking into the one for Stainburn then? From the committee, I can only see 3 other people. I can't see any more faces. I don't know if anybody's got any hands up or not. I don't know. I can't see.
It's because the screen's been shared. So if Amy shares the screen.
So if anybody wants to speak, could you just put your, I will just say you want to speak. Anyone like to speak regarding what Janice just said? So we're all in agreement.
Janet, is yours a legacy hand?
Is it a what?
A legacy hand. You've still got your hand up.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it is. I can't find it.
Can I ask you a question? How can you see hands up when I can't?
Because I'm the host.
People waving at me. Can't see anything else.
I'm the host because I'm working town council because Catherine isn't here.
But I can't see anybody. I can't see. As chair, I can't see anybody's hand up at all. John can wave. I can see John waving. He waves quite nicely, but the rest, I can't see whether you want to speak or
You'll
not.
have to copy John.
Just picking anybody.
If anybody puts their hands up, I can tell you whose hands up, or just wave at your screen or put your thumb up.
I think that's stupid when you say somebody's got their hand up and I can't see it.
If you've got a little icon called participants, Hillary, if you click on that, you can also see hands raised on there as well.
No, I'm not very good at what they call it, multitasking. You know, women are. You know, we had that conversation before. Janet didn't worry about multitasking on that one. Okay, then thanks, Ryan, for that. But basically, the costing for this, Amy, has it been approved?
I believe so. And also the costing was included, I think, with the agenda. So I can get that for you as well, just to confirm that, if you give me a moment.
Okay, thank you. And while we're on about signages there on that one, the one to do with the play area in Harrington, it's still in ownership of Holiday according to a sign that's there. So I'd appreciate it, ASP, if we would have a sign put up that it belongs to Workington.
Madam Chair, signage for all the play parks has been ordered and paid for this week. So the new signs will be going up with all new numbers for contact and etc. on.
Yeah, I was aware that the signs have been there, but I'm looking at that it has to when it has to be done. I was promised a while back this would be done, and then the gypsy encampment came, and that this pandemic and what the problems we've been having had it and have really overlapped each other. To be quite honest with you, so thanks for that, Paul. Thank you, Amy, as well on that one. So, is there anything else you want to suggest about signs, Amy?
I was just going to confirm that cost for you for the signage. So for all of the signage, it's £880, which Emma went away and got 3 quotes. So that's the most competitive one, and that's to cover the four entrances into the town. So that will be a reasonable cost because that's the actual printing and the posts as well. So yes, it'll just be down to yourselves now to decide whether you're happy with the design and whether you'd like to proceed.
I agree with proceeding. Is everyone else in agreement?
Yes,
Do
I'm.
you want to say anything?
Sorry, Councillor Wilkinson has his hand up.
I can't see. Where are we at now then? Who wants to speak?
Councillor Wilkinson.
Can I second that, Madam Mayor? And when we finished on this item, could I just go back in on item 6, please? Because I was of the belief there was more to be on the agenda, and we seem to not have it.
Well, in front of I'm quite willing to go back to clarify anything, but my agenda just mentioned a brief update on the shelter at Salterbeck Road and the one at Moss Bay. That's all I've got on my agenda. So you must be different to mine.
No. It's discussions that was had with the town clerk, and I can't say that what we discussed. It doesn't seem to be on the agenda actually.
Well,
so I was just wanting some clarity on it, on the correct way forward.
The way forward. Could you just be a bit more clarification from yourself then? What do you mean, Will?
Yeah. On item 6, bus shelters.
Yes.
I was led to believe there was more requests for bus shelters come in.
Well, I'm not aware of that quite. I'm just aware of the two. The one that should have been done years ago, and the one now with letterbox. I have not received notification through any, so possibly you can go back to Amy or Catherine to find out about that. I have no knowledge, Will, of that. I'm sorry. I can't
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
I'm sorry, I can't debate it. I wish I could.
Yes, I fully understand, Madam Mayor. You have to follow the agenda.
I don't like waiting the 6 weeks for another meeting where someone has brought something up. I think it's a shame to wait 6 weeks again for it to be brought up on the agenda again. So, but again, we've been through difficult times and various readjustment everywhere. So you can understand that these things happen. So that okay?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Will, thank you. Thank you.
Chair.
Thanks very much, Will, for being obliging. So we'll go on to item 8, Walkham Park, Nightingale Garden. Have you an update there, Amy, from Alison, please?
Yeah, I believe that it's progressing well, and I think actually Will's been involved in a lot of the arrangements as well. But as far as I know, the arrangements have been going well. Alison's design for the landscaping has been approved by everybody, and the base for the monument itself has been ordered now. And I think actually the statue has, they've gone ahead with the production of that too. Am I right in saying that, Will?
That's 100% correct. Yes. Discussions that I've had with yourself. Also an update is, online competition, Amy. The kids painting stones to incorporate painted stones with regard and everything to go around the perimeter of the path. Yeah,
thanks very much. We've already presented this, so it's a very good presentation again. But it's more to do with the Nightingale Garden, whether we're going to have a seat there, around there, that we're going to provide for working town council. I was more taken on that kind of aspect tonight.
Yes, it was discussed that there was seats to be erected around it. Everything's progressing as should. That's all I can say. With time constraints, pandemic constraints, but everything as was discussed in the culture meeting.
So that's been discussed, yes. So basically, Amy, maybe I could request when it comes to items like this on the agenda, if Alison could be available to speak to, because there's one of the things on the item that I'd like to have spoken to about to get some more clarification.
I can certainly pass that on. That's no problem.
Yeah, because there's such a lot going to be happening within the park. that we do need, as I say, Alison's input.
I'll pass that on. But yes, to summarise for that, for the Nightingale Garden, everything, as Will says, seems to be progressing well.
It is, yeah. Okay, thanks very much, Amy, for that there on that one. Again, we're still on Vulcan Park, the path renovation. It had been agreed, the costings, and there was 3 estimates given, I believe, and the costings have been there. So there's no problem now in going forward with the work being done. So has there been any progression in the work being done?
Again, I'll just need to refer to my notes from Alison, so just give me a moment.
Councillor King has a hand raised, Madam Chair.
Councillor King, would you just, I'm sorry about this, Amy, can I bring Janet in then first, please? Is that okay?
Sorry, it was to do with probably what Amy's going to report on, but I'm walking around the path, the park the other day, where the 3 repairs are on that path where they took up the tree roots, it's actually as bad as when the tree roots were there. It's not flat, so I've mentioned it to Catherine, and hopefully they'll get the contractors back to have a look at it.
Okay, so that'll be noted, and the request will go into Alison on that one. Okay, thanks. So is that okay, Janet?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so Amy, would you like to finish what you started?
Sorry.
Okay.
For the paths, I haven't got any information on that, so I will just pass. I'll just have to pass on Janet's request to Alison, if that's okay.
But also the path to be relayed. That is just as vital as what Janet's mentioned there. Everything's in line to go ahead. So as I say, I would like to see some progress on that also. So it'll all tie in by the time the Nightingale Garden is ready for public participation. What
I can do is request from Alison a projected timeline for that, and then I can just email it to members if that's helpful.
Yes,
I'm sure she'll have some dates in mind. It's maybe just got held up, obviously, with everything that's been going on this year. So
no
I can find that out.
It goes back to what I stated before. It would be very, very helpful if Alison could attend some of these meetings. Okay, thanks there on that one. Is anybody else got any questions on that one? Okay, thank you. Stay and burn bench and signs. I don't know what the sign, I think the sign means the notice board, does it, Janet?
Yes, please, yeah.
Again, this was handed over to Catherine, and unfortunately this where things do happen. So have you any information on this, Amy, please?
I don't, I'm afraid.
Okay, so basically to move forward on this one, I think there was a disagreement to do with the siting of the seat with Allerdale. Is that correct, Janet?
I think what it was, there was a debate over who should install it, and it was going to cost a lot more money for Allerdale to put it in where we wanted to put it than if the council put it in. I don't know if Amy's aware of that or what all the background was to that. So that was one of the reasons for not putting the one in on Moor Road. But the other one, which was going to go where the road sign is on the entrance to Stainburn, down Stainburn Road, they were still waiting for that to go in. But it might just be the pandemic that's delayed it.
Right, thank you, Janet. Now, this has been approved for and paid for, I believe, this seat. So really now, which is, if we could ask you to go forward with this, Amy, is to approach and get some agreement on who can put this in, install the seat, and also a position of the notice board, I believe, because that was approved as well. The positioning of that within Stearman. And of course, the pandemic has held up such a lot. But I think we do need to move forward on some of these items. We're getting backlogged here, and we do need to clear the backlog a wee bit. So there's a lot of work here, Amy, I know. Would it be possible to do that, please?
No problem at all. I can get an update as well on that and can circulate that.
Thank you, Janet. Is that okay?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Now we come to Harrington Park. This is
Sorry, Councillor Hunter has his hand up.
Oh, sorry.
We just done about the benches and the chairs what were already paid for. Obviously, my ward we got allocated 2, and for some reason I asked them to be put by the school, by Westfield School, and I'm still waiting. I don't know where these chairs are, or benches, whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
I know one was put by Row Terrace. I don't know why it was put there, but a couple of residents apparently are complaining that there's some bad lads and that sitting on them. So I'm going to go back around there this week, talk to a few residents, because I want that moved, because I don't know why it was put there. I asked them to be put nearer to the school area so the parents can sit down when they're picking their children up. Waiting on mine as well.
Okay, so basically it wasn't on the agenda, but I'll accept this amongst the seats there on that one, because these seats are paid for, if I remember rightly.
Yes, right, yes.
They are paid for, so it's just a repositioning of the seats that you'd like, John. So
Well,
you make
one's gone missing now, maybe because of the COVID, maybe the pandemic, and maybe that's knocked it
Yeah.
back.
Mm.
For some reason, one was put by Raw Terrace, as I say, so I want them by the Westfield School for the parents.
Okay, so you can have a word. There's a meeting with Alison and
Yes.
Catherine to discuss where you'd like this. Or I can come if you like.
No
Just
problem, no problem.
What you want to do, because if Catherine's going to be poorly for any while, we need to get this, as I say, clear the backlog of all this work we've got to see to. And I appreciate it's nearly 18 months now since it was agreed to have these seats.
Right. Yes.
But it's time it was done. So
Totally.
again,
Councillor Briggs has his hand up, Madam Chair.
sorry, yes, okay, who's got the hand up?
Ryan Briggs.
Ryan, okay, can you come in, Ryan, please?
Yeah, sorry, just going back to Vulcan's Park. I'm just wondering what the progression is with the gates. I can remember Chris said that was like sort of a winter job, to get the gates wheelchair and pushchair friendly. I'm just wondering if that's underway or is it being done, or
That's going to come under item 12, Ryan. We're still on
Right.
item 11 at the moment, and I think, we should. Well, I'll come in the next item. Okay, is that okay, Ryan?
yeah.
So finishing talking about what's going on and the progress of the play equipment on that one, because as I say, we'd finished with Janet. Wait till I get my bearings back again. Came on to John with Westfield. We've got that sorted out under the Stainburn bench site. So now we come to Harrington Park, as I mentioned before. So it's okay with your seats there, because I know we've quite a lot of seats ordered when we first came to our first council meeting. So everybody happy about where your seats are and where you want them to go?
Well, I say, just me, Madam Chair, as I say, I don't know why mine was put there in the full spot and I'm still waiting for one, so just basically
Okay.
put that down.
So I'll push with Amy to have an appointment with you soon.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
And we'll go forward with that there on that one. That's fine. So we're coming to item 11, which is to do with Harrington Park. And this has been dealt separately there on that one. As you very well know, when we took the park over, one item missing. And because of the pandemic and the gypsy situation, we've never had this. It has been voted for. It has been approved financially. So we're waiting now for it to approve the design and have it in. And I think you should have had an email from Alison tonight with details of what they propose to be erected in the park. The costings are there. I don't know whether, can I hold it? I don't think you'll be able to see. Can I hold it up for you then? That might be a bit easier.
I can share.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
If it's helpful, I can share the image. She did send me a copy of
Can you
it.
share it?
Just give me a moment, I'll do that.
Okay.
Can I just ask Ryan and Janet to lower their hands, please?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was on.
It's them legacy
So
hands.
basically on this one, yeah, basically on this, I like this one because the disabled children go on it as well. I think it's a brilliant idea for kiddies in wheelchairs. They will be able to partake on this one. Have you got the details there to share it, Amy? This new equipment.
That should be on screen now. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So that's the image she sent for the play area.
Yeah, superb. Move on.
Can you
She's also supplied costings as well. Do you want me to read those out?
Yes, please.
Hello?
No problem, I'll do that.
Hillary gone? Was Hillary gone? I can't see her.
Yes, Hillary. I'm wondering if she's having problems with her connection.
Having problems
again.
on her internet, I think. Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's something wrong with Harrington because my signal dropped out as well. I rejoined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you back
Okay,
now,
Herbert.
Hillary?
Did you hear all that, Herbert?
I did, yeah. I had most of it.
Alison emailed you this tonight.
I got the email off Alison.
Okay.
I've read that.
So if you've had time to look at your emails, you should see it then. But as I said before there, I love this one because disabled children be able to participate, and I think that's brilliant. The costing, again, roughly there, I didn't quite understand what you meant by the costing to 10,042. But you have the Orbit one, it's 5,099. So I don't know whether you can give clarification of what that means, Amy, because I don't really know.
I would think that it means that the actual piece of play equipment is the figure that's roughly £5,000, and I'm guessing the rest could be the actual installation and groundworks that's involved as well.
Okay. So have we done costings for Alison to do the groundwork and installation herself? Because that sounds like half the price of the item. It costs £5,000 just to install.
I would think that the £5,000 is for the item, and then the rest would be for the safety surface and installation costs. That's what she's noted on the email.
So could Alison be able to do it with a lot less than that? That sounds a large sum of money, 5,000 to install it.
I'm not sure. I'd have to check. I'm guessing.
Again, could you inquire of Alison, please?
Yeah, I'm afraid I wouldn't know.
And move forward on that one. So, have any suggestions on this one? Is that okay with you then to do that? I really do think 5,000 to install it is a lot of money. I really do.
I think it could be the resurfacing as well.
It's in a circle on its own, though. It's just in a circle.
My assumption would be you'll have to dig that circle out to put
Yeah.
the machine, put the kit in, and then put the safety flooring around it.
I think the diameter of that circle will be roughly,
If that's the price, Madam Mayor, that's the price.
roughly
Sorry,
2 meters.
Madam Chair.
Would you agree, Herbert? Do you know where it's going? Where it's supposed to be going, this new equipment?
Well, I haven't seen where it's going, but I think it's going in as you're walking through the gate, sort of right opposite there, is it?
That's correct.
Where one used to be, where it was all starting to uplift.
Because it's all done, it's all been done, that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Councillor King has her hand up, Madam Chair.
Councillor King?
Thank you. I was going to say about the installation, it may be that the company would have to actually install it because it's their item. So they'd have specific requirements for safety reasons.
But also, as I say, I understand that. It's just that I'd like in my own head clarification of this from Alison to look at it and then get on with it as soon as possible. If she can find she can do it any better and safer, just as safe, that's fine by me. Are you all in agreement where I'm coming from on this one?
Are you proposing that, Chair?
I am proposing that Alison, at her costings to do it, and if it's an health and safety thing on that one, fine, we'll go ahead with being installed by the supplier. Is that fine? Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you, Herbert.
As long as it is sort of safety aspect of it, with it being a disabled ride, we've got to make sure we get it right.
Exactly.
Does anybody know if the piece of equipment comes with a warranty from the suppliers or out like that?
It came very last minute, all this information, Ryan, and
I haven't received it. I've just looked at my emails. I haven't received anything.
I haven't had time to really look at it.
All I'm thinking, if it isn't installed by them, then the warranty might be voided.
Well, this is what we're asking Alison to find out.
We need to find out, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but as I say, it arrived very late, and Alison did apologise for that, of this arriving for tonight's meeting.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't been a mix up with the email address or something, but I haven't got it.
Okay. So under those situations, Amy, I think we can give Alison to go ahead and whatever she decides is a health and safety, the best way for health and safety. It has been approved by council, the price of this.
No problem. I'll confirm that with them.
As Hillary locked out.
Your sound is broken up, Amy, to be quite honest with you. Okay. Right, is that okay with everyone to do with the Harrington new piece of equipment then? Basically now we're coming back again to Vulcan Park and the update of the progress of the fence of Vulcan Park. And this is a good idea, this is very well. This is an idea of a group of volunteers to go ahead and apply for funding to get various things done within the park. I know the pandemic is holding, especially this latest one, has held up with our aspirations of really getting this off the ground. So have you any updates, Amy, then please?
The Friends of Vulcan Park group, yes, we have done quite a bit of marketing. We created some banners that have been on the gates of Vulcan's Park. We've done some online advertising and had posters on the colour screen as well. Unfortunately, we've not had any takers, so we were considering putting some advertisements in the local press, but they are obviously rather expensive. So we will continue to appeal for volunteers, and if the committee has any further recommendations, I'd be happy to follow those up too.
Okay, thanks very much, Amy. This pandemic is affecting everything really, as I say on that one. But thanks for all you've been doing and help there on that one. Thank you on that one. The Helena Thompson Museum. Now, this is a consideration now of mine. Really, is going back to 1972 or 4. I can't remember which one it was, where the municipal borough of Workington handed the Helena Thompson Museum over to Allerdale. And now it's coming at a time now where this should be supposed to be coming back to Workington Town Council. And I want assurance that Catherine can write to Allerdale Borough Council and put a claim in the fact that Helena Thompson Museum rightly belongs back with Workington and not to be missed going amongst this redevelopment of what's happening in the world today. I think Paul's wanting to come in on this one.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'm sure it'll be part of the devolution, should it actually happen, the devolution. We just need to be wary that Allerdale Borough Council pay for everything on that building,
Yes.
where we wouldn't have the money to pay for everything on that building. So what we need to be clear is when we do bring it, if we were to bring all our assets back, is to what value that asset is to us, and also how we would look at maintaining that asset ongoing.
I agree with you, Paul, but it's to ensure that that Helena Thompson Museum is coming back into the remit of Workington Town Council. In fact, all our assets should be really reclaimed. I think so, anyhow. So
I'm certainly not doubting that, Chair.
Sorry?
I'm certainly not doubting that should all come back to it. I'm just saying we have to be careful what we wish for.
Well, as I say, but it's just a general inquiry now to say it doesn't been left on the table, because sometimes we can leave things too late and last minute and it slips from our fingers. And
Councillor Wilkinson has his hand up, Chair.
Councillor Wilkinson, would you like to come in, please?
Yeah, I have had discussions with Catherine with regards to this. She is making inquiries with regard to all assets that was transferred in 1974 to get a log to find out exactly what should and what shouldn't come back to us. I believe there is a vast array of assets that probably should come back to us, and it could change the whole dynamics of this town council.
Yeah.
She's doing ongoing investigations with other people to find out. She has discussed things with another experienced councillor, I don't want to name anyone, who's been around quite a few years, and they are helping her with the investigations on what was transferred.
Okay, but I do believe that Chris Bradshaw did start an asset list. So it's bound to be listed somewhere along, because we're really working on that was Chris before he left. So most assuredly he'll have left that information with Catherine as well, Will.
I have a copy of that asset.
Yeah, I'm sure, yes, yeah, okay. So as far as the Helena Thompson Museum, we can't move forward other than to keep an eye on the situation and see what's going on. That's my recommendation anyhow, to do with the Helena Thompson Museum. We don't want to lose our assets. We want to pick of our own assets before we just they pick and choose for us there on that one. So we're going on. Is that okay with you then? It was just a general, it wasn't really anything decision. It was just a general kind of to make you aware what's going on quite shortly, because Workington Town Council is going to be a really big business in the future. It really is there on that one. Now, and the play area development now, and I know it's Stephen, I think this is your area. Where's Stephen gone? I was there on that one. I know Stephen's here on that one, and to do with the update of the Mill Close one. But I have recently come to my attention that the hub, Emma Thompson at the hub, has been in conversation with Castle and Course, and they've agreed to some kind of improvement for the Mill Close. Is that the same one, Stephen? Can you tell me, please? Because I don't know which one we're talking about here. You're still on mute. Can you unmute, please? Stephen, could you unmute? Okay, who knows this area? Anyone know this area? The play area. So it's the one. Sorry, Linda. It's the one. I believe it's the one. It's been closed. There's been all of the equipment's been taken away, and Castle and Court own this play area, and Emma Thompson from the hub.
Aye.
Agreement with Allerdale and Castle and Coast to have it refurbished, and that's ongoing now. That was the decision.
The 7 slides, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. So basically, this has been solved. This has been resolved. The situation with the play area, except for
it hasn't been. No, it hasn't been resolved at all. The 7 slides play area. It's nothing at all to do with the Mill Close Green. It's with the Housing Association. That. So that's a different project altogether.
So will you clarify for me, Stephen? Because I say I don't know your area very well. What we're talking about?
It's got nothing at all to do with the town council. That's just the working. That's the Housing Association, Castles and Course. They're working to replace equipment from the 7 slides and other banana slides in the area.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying, Stephen.
So it's got nothing to do with the town council. That's the Housing Association.
Yes, we've been asked. No, can I just say, Stephen? It had been put on our agenda because somebody had wanted to go on our agenda to do with the play area.
No, it's got nothing to do with it at all with the town council. That's the Housing Association.
I can understand that, but I'm only explaining to the rest of us, the rest of the people that don't understand this, that it's between Allerdale now putting the money in with Castle and Court to get this play area updated completely, except for the goalpost. Is that correct?
No, you're just crossing your wires there because it's got nothing at all to do with this.
I'm only speaking what someone's wanted to put on the agenda.
No.
So basically, if you can fill us in what's going on, I'd be much appreciated.
That's a confused message that you see, because the Housing Association, right, they took all the banana slides away from the Mill Close 6 area, right? So I've been in regular contact with the Housing Association, and they've agreed to put play equipment back into the areas where the banana slides that was taken away. So the Housing Association is going to put some money back into the Mill Close 6 area, but it's nothing at all to do with the tarmac area or the Mill Close Green, which we're working on with the Working Town Council. It's 2 different projects.
Working Town Council has no involvement in this. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know that, Stephen, please, if you just listen. I am saying this to you. It is between Allerdale Hub, Emma Thompson, and Castle and Course that's been dealing with it. Nothing to do, but this was brought to the agenda by someone that was concerned. It was put on our agenda to talk about, because we do go through a phase where we would take over play areas and take responsibility for them. That's how our involvement comes in from Working Town Council. But we're not involved in this because it's being resolved.
But the play areas are the responsibility of the Housing Association. They have been for 40 years since the houses were built. So this is a total different project. It's nothing at all to do with the Mill Close Green. It's the Mill Close 6 area, which is there's probably about 30 or 40 banana slides all over the site. So the Housing Associations agreed to replace equipment outside their properties. It's nothing at all to do with the town council or the proposed works that we are working on for the Mill Close area.
I understand that, Stephen. You're quite correct what you're saying, but what I'm pointing out is we were asked to look into this, what was going on, because it has been a policy of Working Town Council from derelict to play areas to take over responsibility and care for it. But in this instance, it's only happened this week because it was on Facebook that Allerdale and Castle and Course had come to an agreement to do this area up. And it's not, I know it's quite agree, it's nothing to do with Working Town Council we're doing now, but it was brought to the agenda by some councillor, I don't know which council it was, to talk about this, because there's also on here a talk about goalposts. Are you getting in?
Different project.
Have they been included in all this?
No, well, the goalposts are going through the Working Town Council.
That's what what I want to talk about now then.
Yeah. It's 2 different projects. So the Housing Association are doing a different project to what we're doing.
I'm well aware of that,
So-
Stephen, and I appreciate what
Yeah.
you're saying. I am well aware. We're simply going round in a circle here.
Exactly.
I know exactly what you're saying. Working Town Council has nothing to do with it. What others say, we were called in by a councillor to look at it. But what I'm looking at now is the goalposts we're being asked to do. We've moved on from that. And we've got some costing for goalposts for you. And I wanted to inquire what side goalposts you want. Because I've got
1
some.
metre high and 3 metres wide.
Just a moment, Stephen. I'll get my paperwork out on that one. Because the costings were done, as I said before, to do with this. Oh, dear me. Right, okay. You'll have an email yourself anyhow on all these costings, Stephen. And
No, I've had the email today.
Have you not received an email from Alison?
No.
It was pretty late, man. You mightn't have had time to see it because it was about 4 o'clock when I got it. So
I've talked to Alison about it. I talked to Chris Bagshaw about it. And then me and Chris discussed this about 10 months ago.
Okay. So basically, what I'm asking now, what size goalpost would you like, Stephen?
1 metre high by 3 metres.
Are you taking this down, Amy? Have you got
Yeah,
this down?
I've got a note of it, and
Okay,
yeah.
because we have got costings. Have you got the costings in front of you? I can't quite see mine.
I do. Let me just get to them now.
And you want them with the goalpost behind as well, Stephen? With the
Yeah,
net behind?
it's got the metal meshing so the kids don't have to run after the balls.
Okay, that's fine. This is the one we've been looking at. So I think it would meet with your approval to do that. So as I say, we've got an agreement with the committee tonight to go ahead for the costings for this and have it done for you. So can I put it out to the meeting? How do you feel about this suggestion about buying the goalposts for this area? There's £2,300, was it, Amy, if I remember rightly?
So it's for the 3 by 1 metre goalposts, it's £3,572.
That was them.
Okay.
Councillor Wilkinson has his hand up, Chair.
Councillor Wilkinson, would you like to come in, please?
I like to propose that we go for this.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Everyone ready? Okay. So we don't need a vote, really. Okay. So I think we're all in unison on this. We're all in agreement that we do pay for the goalposts plus the nets with it there on that one. ESP as well. So basically, the funding is available in the environment to do this. And now for kids getting on with it and keeping them busy and keeping them out of trouble. And I'm 100% behind this, really am.
Well, if you think of all the equipment and all the facilities we had it move close, the previous Labour administration at Aldale, they're taking everything away from the kids in my ward, haven't they? There's absolutely nothing for the kids. So when I was in discussions with Chris Bagshaw, we also talked about getting 2 little cradle swings either end of the tarmac to go on the grass verges for the kids. So it's just something that me and Chris have discussed, and I've discussed it with Alison. So we're going to move forward with that as well.
We're moving forward as fast as we can as money allows us, Stephen, because as I say, all areas have been allowed to go derelict. We've got Moorclough, we've got North Side there that's been going derelict. We've got lots of things happening. So we've all got to take a little bit of nibble at the cherry at a time, as I say, but we are starting. We've only been in power for 18 months to get things done, and part of that's been the pandemic. So really we are going as quickly as finances will help us to do so. But I'm quite happy to, as I say, to listen to everybody and work with the children. I think the next one now is going to be Westfield, the Westfield area for a play area. So would you like to come in, John? And this is the area of John. I don't think that is.
Yeah,
Yes.
can I just say, Chair, John's got his hand up, and so has Councillor Williams, Linda.
So John's coming now, then, please.
Yeah, I was just going to say that obviously Moorclough has got some play areas. They've got the banana slides. They've got some things what kids can play on. Harrington's got things what the kids can play on, and we've got nothing, which we have had now for 15 to 20 years. So moving forward onto Westfield, me and Sean have actually been talking of the sites. So obviously this has been going on 18 months now, and we still nowhere further forward on these sites on the agreement.
Okay.
So could you fill me on, Hillary, if you've got any information for me and Sean?
We're slightly forward again on that one. I've been in contact with Allerdale, and apparently there's going to be some houses being on Westfield Green. That's just below the Westfield, the building on top of Westfield Drive there on that one.
Okay.
The field there, I don't know what you call it, the Westfield field, I don't know on that one.
It's old it's old Salterbeck School entrance, the field.
Okay. So I've been offered a site there, which is you know, we'll look at it there. I had to wait to see if the three councillors decided, and there's yourself and there's Sean that's in agreement.
Yeah.
Barbara Cannon is not in agreement to this site, and the site is near the roundabout. On the grass as it goes down and it levels out, it's there. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you, John? You know the area.
On the bottom of Westfield Drive.
Yes, yes. And that is the option, the only option we're going to get on that site. There's nothing else because there's houses going on there elsewhere. And it's like options choice in a sense. But I don't think it's a bad choice, but it's up to you whether you approve of it going there. And you think
Well, as I say, we can go back to the original site, what was there 20 years ago, where right in the middle of Westfield, where there was a park. As I say, going back to 20 years ago when I was a kid, that's another option we can maybe look at between ourselves, me, you and Sean.
yeah. So you don't.
I'm just away from the main road. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, but it will be fenced off, John. It will be fenced off.
Yeah, I'm saying that there's another option if you know.
There's no more options on the table, John. I'm sorry. Do you want to take this and wait another 18 years, or what do you want to do?
Well, I'm sick of waiting. Well, I'm sick of waiting. So I'm all for anything. If it's going to go forward with a park, I'm all for that. If they're going to give us that bit of land, well, let's take it. No problem.
That's only going to be offered on that piece of area, in that area.
Yeah, that's fine. If they're going to give us that, well, as I say, I'm sick of waiting. So let's get the ball moving.
Because it is for toddlers, it's in street lighting and everything's there, and it is amongst houses, so it will be protected by the residents. So it's in an ideal situation. The pushchair can go right up the road and then go on to the park. This has got to walk across grass with kids and toddlers. I have no objection to the site, but there again, I'm not a representative of Westfield.
Who actually owns the site, Madam Chair?
Sorry?
Who actually owns the site? Is that
Allerdale through AIP? It's AIP that's pushing the houses there. I think there's 62 houses to go on that field now.
Yeah.
But this is the only, and apparently for years and years and years, I think 8 years, previous working town council had tried and couldn't make any headway. I apparently went at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was suggested, and I do think Allerdale have offered to go 50-50 with the costing of this park. So we're not on we're on a win-win situation, because if houses do get built, as I say, on a win-win situation. We've still got a park, and if we put in the 106 agreement to sort it out, but you can sit and wait how many years before more closer on the houses we've got. It was about 12 years before they got it off the ground. So you're going to wait another 12 years for a 106 agreement to come through.
Oh, do it now. The same, Madam Chair, if they're willing to go ahead, and I'm certainly I am willing to go ahead with that. If they're saying yes, well, let's take it off them. Let's go for it. So when are we talking? What are we talking? Another 18 months? Or are we starting right away?
Well, I'm hoping tonight. I like to get things done. I don't believe in sitting in meetings and getting nothing done. I was hoping tonight we'd get approval from the rest of the committee that we are in agreement for you to have a play area. If only you can do this, John, it's your area, it's Westfield, but Barbara does not want it.
Right.
She's putting objections into this site, but there's John, there's you, and there's Sean. That's 2-1, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. So me and Sean are 100% behind this campaign. So as far as I'm concerned, if they're willing to let us put a park there, let's go for it. That's
my feelings, John. As I said, push and get things done. Got to get it done while we're still in control. To be quite honest with you, we've still got majority on that one. So basically, with what you said tonight, can I put it out to the committee then that we are in agreement for a play area to go there, and we are willing to negotiate with Allerdale for the costings. The rough costing is about 40 grand, I think, so we might get it for 2, but that's a stainless steel one, mind.
Well,
it's a toddler area, man. It isn't for the older ones; it's for toddlers.
Well, I second that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so can I have a proposal then that we accept this, and then a seconder, please?
I'll propose it.
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Okay. And is anybody else in agreement?
Yeah.
I'm in agreement for it, to be quite honest with you. So that gives Catherine now the right, or the permission, if you like, to go forward, and also the permission now to have costings done. And I've already stated the costings, estimated to be 40, which Allerdale are 50-50 at this moment in time. So if we allocate 40 for this play area as an interim price, we can go forward and get some action done. It won't be another 6 weeks before another decision can be made. So are you in agreement of that, of budgeting for this, for 20 grand?
Totally agreement, Madam Chair. I am.
Get something done at last, yeah.
Yeah.
1 million.
Of course, it will have to go to full council to get the full agreement. We've,
Yes.
we've cut it to the wick tonight by getting it done and getting it through on that.
Well, yes, at least we've got the cog moving now, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, we're getting moving now, John. And I do agree with you. It's a long time for kids to have no play area. Even toddlers in this pandemic, they should have somewhere to go and be able to relax and things like that. So basically, have I covered everything tonight on the agenda?
Madam Chair.
Yes, sorry, Herbert, yes.
Yeah, I would just like to say to yourself through the chair and everybody else here that we've agreed a lot tonight, and I would like to think that in 6 months' time we're not still sitting here talking about what we've agreed tonight, that things are getting moved on, i.e. the goalposts at Moor Close are installed, i.e. the park at Westfield started, the bench at Stainburn with the notice board, that's all sort of in hand, because we seem for the last 6 months to have agreed stuff, but nothing seems to have come to light. Nothing's
Well,
happened.
I agree with you, Herbert, but you've got to remember this pandemic. I know we all blame the pandemic, but again, we've a committee now that's dedicated. I think we're all for community. I think we're a community committee, and we want to see the best we can for our own communities and to move forward. That was why I've tried to cut to wick tonight, because it would have been another meeting to get the costings in. For this
Madam
one.
Chair, Linda has a hand up.
Sorry, it got the hand up.
Linda.
Hey,
Linda, can you come in, please?
hi. What is it? It's north side.
Yes. Yeah.
Has there been any health and safety go over and check it or not? Do you know?
Well, I've just had an email this afternoon, funny enough, from Emma Thompson again, because this was a knock-on effect from them doing the one at Moor Close.
Yeah.
I contacted her and asked if you could do it for Moor Close. Why can't you do it for North Side? And I've been in touch with Beth for 2 years now, through Castle and Court, and they've nothing done. I'm not kidding you. And apparently, Castle and Court have done a health and safety risk on all the play areas. And Emma's going to look into this. So basically, you've disappeared, Linda, for some reason. I don't know why you disappeared off the screen. I should look into this, so I should have an answer to this one by the middle of next week. So if we're trying to help Beth get it done, because they've got no gate on, there's some equipment missing, there's lots of things that's not right. So anybody can see that if health and safety is okay there, they're not doing the job properly.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends over there with kiddies, and they used to use the park, but it's too dangerous for them.
Yeah, I agree with you, Linda. But we've tried, and so has Krista, writing letters to Castle and Co, and they never got back to us at all there on that one. But apparently, working through the hub, they seem to have more clout with the housing associations. And she did state that the supporter have done a survey done of all the play areas, so they should have it in front of them, the details of North Side. And we'll see what Emma comes back with. But I'm only going to wait till next week. I'm not going to wait any longer.
I tell you what, Hilary, I'll lend you a pair of my Dr. Martin boots and you can go and kick the butts.
Okay, but I'm I will, Linda, but I am trying. But I agree with Herbert. I hate sitting at meetings when nothing's done. That really annoys me. It really does. So tonight there's a lot there, Amy. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm glad actually, because we're getting something done at last and showing that we are intent on making working in a better place. So a lot for Catherine to do. As I say, she's just new, but that is no excuse now. The 6 weeks, we'll come back in 6 weeks' time. We're hoping, as Herbert has just said, that there is some obviously done, and we can see the fact that we haven't sat here tonight for no reason at all. So while we're talking about North Side, Amy, I've got my fighting gear on tonight, Why are we talking about North Side with the Christmas tree to do what Beth wants? I have inquired about that. There's nothing happening there on that one. But Beth said it doesn't belong to anybody but Castle and Coast. So we need permission there to put a rooted tree in. And she did want one a bit bigger than 12 foot. She's running a bit late to get one for Christmas time, I feel. So what is your report on that then, Amy, please?
I've contacted Beth, but not heard back from her. So I can follow that up.
Okay, that's what she emailed me back and said it was not it wasn't in our remit to give permission. So we need permission from Castle and Coast to put a Christmas tree up.
That's
We're
no
now in the
problem
middle
then.
of, sorry?
That would be no problem. I can seek
That's no
permission for
problem
that.
with you, Amy. And you have had permission to go from the Culture Committee on Tuesday. You've been awarded some cash to do that. So hopefully that Christmas tree should be up within the 10 days.
I'll see what I can do.
Because it's getting to the end of November then, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so with time again with this. So there's quite a lot on the agenda tonight, Amy. But there again, I think we've worked well tonight, actually. And we've got, hopefully, we're waiting now for all the people that's responsible for getting this action done to do it. And I'll say again, the meeting will go a lot more smoother as well if Alison could be here, especially on the Environment Committee, to give her advice, because we didn't discuss, and I'm going to come back to this one as well, about the development of the Vulcan Park, because an idea has come up for an open air theatre to be put in, and I was wanting the costings done for that as well, by Alison, and that has not materialised. So things are getting forgotten about somewhere here, Amy, which is not right. We need to be up to speed. It's an unfortunate time with Catherine being the changeover. I know all that. But again, that's no excuse for not coming forward with the information we've asked for. So basically, it was the information I needed for the costing for this open air. I think Paul will verify this because you were at the meeting. Paul's disappeared. At the meeting, that I did request this, and he still has nothing's happened. So as I stated before, we need action when we do our meetings. And I do feel a little bit let down at times, as Herbert has just pointed out. I do get angry at times that I feel frustrated that nothing's happening through all the work we put in and try. So it isn't an argument or a disagreement. It's just a point that we do feel to go forward together. We need all to work together and get our timings right.
No problem. I'll pass the information on to the estates team and to Catherine.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else? I know there's nothing else on the agenda now on that one. But is there anything else anybody wants brought up? Because I will allow this. Would anyone like anything brought up to be discussed?
Hillary, I had a conversation with Catherine, the new town clerk, and we discussed about having the bus shelter at the top of, just before you get to Onster Drive there. It's halfway up Young's Lane. It is like it's an open area. It's a regular bus stop, but there's got a bus shelter there. So if you want to get a bus shelter for Salterbeck and for Mossbear, I'd like a bus shelter just before you get to the mini roundabout at the top of Onster Drive.
Okay, Steve, well, it's logic to put 2 in as well as you can 3, you know. So basically the costings, they might get cheaper if we buy 3 together on that one.
Would.
You do need to meet up with Catherine or myself on deciding where you want it to be, and we'll push ahead with that. Just to all agree to do that. It's an unusual system that we're doing now. They might pull us up with full council regarding this one. But if we include, can you do that, Amy? To include buying 3, which should be cheaper than buying them individually. It'd be cost cutting actually. And we get this site there on that one. We're all talking about £2,000-3,000, and there is in our budget for bus shelters anyhow. I can't remember the figure. I think it's about, is it £5,000-6,000? I haven't got my budget in front of me. I haven't got a budget at all. Is that correct, Amy? Do you know?
Sorry, which figure was that? You've lost me there.
There should be a budget for bus shelters somewhere.
The figure that I quoted earlier, is that the figure you need?
No, the figures in the total budget for bus shelters.
Oh, sorry, I don't have access. I would have to go back into our files to find the budget for total bus shelters.
But I do know
sorry, it's not something I've got access to.
Bus shelters were costed at £3,000 a were.
Right, thank you.
Budget for bus shelters in.
You currently have £3,500 sitting in the budget.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chair.
Okay, well, we're coming up to a budget now. We're putting our budget, Paul, for next year. Paul? Yeah.
Sorry? Sorry, Chair.
Jed, would you like to speak, please? You're muted. Can you unmute? Jed? Would you unmute, please? Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like bus shelters on Harrington Road.
Right, okay.
It's a major bus route for number 30s, 31s, 46.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said there, Jed, please.
bus shelters on Harrington Road, it's a major bus route. There's nothing there whatsoever.
Whereabouts on Harrington Road, Jed, please?
Near the church, down by the graveyard. Well, two down by the graveyard.
Oh, near the old school, county council's offices. Is that what you mean?
The old school.
Opposite Al's Kitchen he's talking about, Madam Mayor, just down the road from Al's Kitchen.
Oh yes, I know what you know what you mean now. But then again, same as with Stephen, is to meet up with you, Jed, and show us exactly where you'd like it to go, and we'll have a look at that. But I'd like to have got these costings into our next budget so we can do it for next year. We've only got a limited amount left in. I think we've already costed it for the one at Salterbeck, so we need to budget for these 2 extra bus shelters now. And
2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah. No. So as I say, come on to 4. I don't want to have 10 at all. I'm bothered about.
There's no cover whatsoever.
We have to cost for them though, Jed.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm quite willing to do that. So that's another 2 onto what? 3 onto that. So another £10,000.
I think, Madam Chair, some of them on Harrington Road, I know where Jed's talking about. I would think you would maybe struggle to get them because you would be blocking half of the pavement off because it isn't anywhere set back to put a bus shelter, if you get what I mean.
But as I said,
I don't mean an expensive bus shelter, I mean a cheap one. Just a little bit of cover, that's all.
like a overhead thing.
Yeah, that's all.
Well, we're going to investigate that, Jade. We'll make an appointment with Catherine when she's well. We're going to have a look at it. But as I said before, it's the costing for our budget now that I'm looking for to get it done next year. So we can start doing it in March, April. These other ones just come to light there on that one. That is my way of working for where we're not wasting time, because it'll be another 12 months before we can get the money. Does that make sense to you? We've got to do it this month.
Yeah.
Costings. And Paul does very well know, but it's his budget. When's your budget, Paul?
F&GP is next week.
What date do you know?
Thursday, I think it is.
Thursday. So we've got till Thursday to get to apply for some more costings for bus shelters, and we can take it. Yeah. So we'll work around that one, Jed. And where's Stephen gone? So are you with me on that, Stephen?
Yep, spot on.
And I say we'll make an appointment, as I said before. There with it doesn't necessarily mean Catherine. I mean, I could go with you anyhow if Catherine's going to be ill for a while.
Are we finished, Madam Chair?
Yes, I was just going to say, can we have our condolences for Catherine and hope she's feeling a lot better soon and can join us soon there on that one. So get well soon, Catherine. Okay. Yeah. Paul, did you want to
No, Chair. No, Chair. My tea's ready, that's all.
Oh, well, well, as I say, yeah.
Done.
Is everybody happy? Are you all happy?
Happy.
Well, everybody else happy on that one. As I say,
Happy as Larry.
As I say, we'll get our sticks out now and whip all these executives and people into kind of doing what they should be doing. Okie dokie, Amy. But thanks very much for helping us out. That's appreciated as well. Thank you. On that
No
one.
problem.
So can I say good night? Sorry.
Do you want me to stop recording now?
Yes, I'm going to say
Is that
good night.
yours?
Good night to everyone. Aye, and thanks for joining us. Thank